mess. Ah, candy, thank God, thank God. Thank you, God. Who wants some candy? Who's hungry? Seriously. There you go. Good for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Beautiful, beautiful. Boy, I'm so glad you're here. These solo shows are so damn lonely. Here, have another one. There you go. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Here, catch. Enjoy. Does this qualify as dinner theater? No. Okay. Okay, right up there. All right. Boy, I am so glad you're here. Look at this mess. Oh my God. Everything was going great in my life until January 3rd. I was home, relaxing after work, and I get a phone call. It's my friend from the hospital. Ellen, your father is here. He wants you to come pick him up. What's wrong? Why is he in the hospital? I don't know. He won't let us examine him. You better come pick him up. So I drive to the hospital. Let's call it Hospital A. I get there, get to the emergency room, and there is my father sitting with my friend, and he's fully dressed, and he is furious. Bring me home! Bring me home! What took you so long? Bring me home! Dad, they kidnapped me. The NYPD, they kidnapped me. I want you to sue them. They put me in handcuffs. Dad, please, calm down. Finally, he tells me what happened. He had gone shopping for my mom, grocery shopping, as he always does. I should mention he's 87 years old. And he always goes out like a gentleman, with his hat and his jacket. His shoes are polished. He never wears jeans or sneakers. He's a gentleman, right? He's refined. He's done his shopping, and he's waiting for the bus, as he's done 1,000 times before. 1,000 times. The bus comes to take him home in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. The bus gets to his stop. But for some reason, on this date, January 3rd, he gets up on the second step, and he freezes. He won't get off the bus. He's at his stop, he just won't get off. For some reason today, he's nervous, and he panics. And of course, the classy people of Brooklyn are piling up behind him. Come on, Pops, move it! Move it, Pops! He thinks somebody poked him. Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Don't touch me! I should mention that he's totally blind in the right eye, and only partially sighted in the left. But he's too proud to ask for help getting down these steps. And then the bus driver's going, come on, buddy, let's go. I'm on a schedule. Let's go, let's go. And nobody helps this fragile, dignified man off the bus. So the bus driver calls 911. The cops come. They lift my father off the bus. The classy people of Brooklyn leave. The bus takes off. And now my father is being interviewed by the refined gentleman of the NYPD. What's your name, sir? Walter. What's your last name, sir? I'm not telling you my last name. Nobody uses last names these days. It's true, you know. Really, see for yourself. Next time you're in a store, hardly anybody's wearing name badges, let alone ones with last names. Where do you live, sir? I'm not telling you, it's private. Can we see some ID? No. Dad, you cannot argue with the police. If they ask you for something, you have to show them. Gesundheit. But because my father was uncooperative and agitated, they put him in handcuffs and whisked him away to the hospital. I look at the ambulance report. EDP. They call him an EDP, emotionally disturbed person? You have got to be kidding me. I mean, he wasn't psychotic, wielding a knife, or paranoid, screaming. He wasn't a danger to anyone. He was just afraid of getting a ticket or being arrested. This is a man who's so afraid of authority, he wouldn't even return a library book late. All he wanted was to get home to my mom, who's waiting at home on the clock for the groceries so she can make dinner, like 1,000 times before. But now, he's here, and it's a mess. So I say to him, Dad, since you're here anyway, why don't you let them examine you? And he goes, no, don't touch me, I'm fine, bring me home. So I sign him out, AMA, against medical advice, take him by the arm, I'm gonna bring him home. My car's in the parking lot, we're gonna go home, I'm gonna restore him to his life, undo this little glitch in their orderly, serene lives. And we're practically at the automatic doors, we're practically out the hospital when he goes, no, I want to see the psychiatrist. Which seems like a good idea. I take him by the arm, and now I'm going down the long corridor to the psychiatric emergency room, where, by the way, I work during the day as a psychiatrist. And I see that the doctor on call tonight is Dr. No names, no last names, let's just call him Dr. B. And he's my least favorite doctor because he works so slowly. You could scream. The nurses even have a nickname for him. They call him Plan B. So I say to him, hey, Dr. B, this is my dad. He had a little bit of trouble tonight. I hope you can help him. But I see that there are 3 patients milling around waiting to be seen. And Dr. B has a desk full of charts. And I wish I could jump the line, you know? I mean, I work in this freaking place, and my father's fragile. He's 87 years old. But Dr. B, he's very pleasant. He just says, okay, Ellen, have a seat. Everything gonna be okay. And I say, well, do you think you can see him soon? And he goes, oh, you know, Ellen, time is a suggestion. So I take my father to the waiting area. The nurse gives him a nice cup of tea and a tuna salad sandwich. And there's the medication drawer. And I want so much to go over there and grab a tranquilizer. And one for Dad. But I don't want to break the rules. I'm not his doctor. Now, just for fun, how about a little quiz? And share some more candy with me. Let's have a little quiz, folks. Just for fun. How long do you think it takes until Dr. B sees my father? A, 1 hour. Any takers? No, you guys are too smart for that. Native New Yorkers. B, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. You're getting warm. There you go, dear. Whoops, sorry. You have to try again. All right, there you go. 4, do we hear 4? 4.5 hours. There you go. 4.5 hours. Bingo, you got it. 4.5 hours it takes for him to see my father. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And anyway, now it's 8:30. I have to get home to my kids. And I see that my father's a little bit more relaxed, and he's chatting with the other patients. So while my poor father is waiting to be seen, why don't you and I go back in time? My father, Walter Vladimir Weinberg, was born on June 14th, 1920, the only child of Jacob and Teresa Weinberg in Odessa, in the Ukraine. Now, you may ask, where is Odessa? Well, here's New York. Fly to Moscow, then make a right, hang a right for a couple thousand miles, and you get to Odessa on the Black Sea. His father, Jacob, was a trained composer and concert pianist, and he wrote all this music that you hear tonight. Isn't it beautiful? Wow. He wrote so much music. He was a kind of genius. In 1922, they left Odessa and moved to an area called Palestine, which is now Israel. And there he wrote an opera called The Pioneers. It was considered the first Hebrew opera. And he ended international contest. And he won first prize. Go Jacob! Go Jacob! Woo! Yay! And with the prize money, which was $1,500, but that went very far in 1924, he was able to bring his wife and little Walter to the United States. And then, in 1946, his opera was performed at Carnegie Hall. In fact, his music is still performed a lot today. And I want to ask you a favor since you're here. When you go home tonight, can you Google Jacob Weinberg and put his name in on YouTube and see where his music's being performed? Because we need the royalties, you know. I'm divorced and I have 2 teenage kids and we still have to get them through college. So let me know what you find. But meanwhile, life is good. My parents are elderly, but they live a few miles away. I still can talk to them. We don't get together as often as I'd like, but I understand that. It's not so easy for them. Whenever I call, my father takes my phone call, but I've noticed in the last few months, my mother isn't coming to the phone. But my father is kind and he says, "Mother sends love." Okay, I'll take that. Between you and me, I think she was just a few feet away, sitting in her favorite chair, going like this. My mother, Adelaide Millicent Weinberg. Brilliant, hard-working woman. She graduated college in an era where a lot of women didn't get to go to college. She graduated from Hunter College as a math major, class of 1943. She was very hard-working, ambitious, and ambitious for us, her children. But she could be overprotective and very strict. You know, Robert Frost, the poet, he said, "Home is the place where they have to take you in." Well, not our home, I swear. I remember one night my older sister came home too late from a date, missing the curfew. My mother left the chain on the door so she could not come in. To teach her a lesson. My older sister stood in the hall for half an hour, banging on the door, begging to be let in. Her love was tough love. She was tact-free. So all I wanted was her love and approval, and I became a people pleaser. Which didn't please her. And she'd say, "Ellen, life is not a popularity contest." And I would think to myself, lucky for you, because if it was, you would lose. But my father was much more lighthearted, funny, kind. Like his father, Jacob, he played the piano magnificently, but instead of performing in concert halls, he played at weddings, bar mitzvahs, and christenings. He was also very handsome, very good looking, but without a touch of vanity. I remember once when I was in college, he was in my dorm room, helping me unpack, and then he left. And my best friend down the hall came over and she said, "Ellen, well, 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 who was that? Can you introduce me?" And I said, "Nope, I saw him first." Together they made a very good pair, my mother the general, and my father the pleasant lieutenant. It kind of reminds me of that old joke, maybe you've heard it. A little boy comes home from school. "Mom, Mom, I got a part in the school play." And the mother says, "Oh yes, what part?" "The Jewish husband." And the mother says, "You go back and tell your teacher you want a speaking part."